Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Happy Friday. It is Hugo Quintanilla with Long and Foster Narcotomic Rockville. Always a pleasure to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining me for the live at 5, where we discuss a little bit of real estate. 15 minutes a day does get you more savvy on real estate each day. So if you guys have any questions, please make sure to leave them in the comments below. Appreciate all the feedback so far. Sorry, it's been a little bit of a hectic day. Um, but biggest thing that I'm seeing today is that there are tons of opportunities out there. We're seeing a lot of new listings. So today what we're going to cover is the predictions for 2024 and the this week's news in real estate, kind of the national news more than anything else. There are a few stories, but only two in particular that are pertaining to Montgomery County that I think are worth talking about. And I'll just briefly mention those in a little bit. But again, this is your show to ask your questions. And if you guys need any assistance, I'd be more than happy to help. Again, I am licensed in Maryland, but can help you out all over the United States. So do not hesitate to reach out about your questions. And if I don't have the answer, I will find out somebody that does and get you guys the right information. My name, just so you guys know, Hugo Quintanilla. Feel free and find me online. And you can scan this barcode right there, the QR code, and just to connect whenever you guys need. And here's my info as well. Again, guys, your space. So we've covered buying, selling, leasing. We talked to a mortgage professional. We're going to cover today's news. Really, my hopes for the next week are that we're going to cover a few more topics along the same lines, a little bit more in depth, and also cover a few more tools, tips, and tricks that you can use. Like I mentioned in yesterday's show, the website, yourrealtorhugo.com, has a ton of free resources that I put up there all the time so that you guys can have access. I will be creating a portal for all of you. In case you're interested, that I can send you the open houses. So we will be dropping that shortly. And hopefully next week I'll be able to drop a link or send out emails for that. So again, let's not lollygag too much right now. Let me pull back up what we were looking at. Top real estate stories of the week. And it's just going to be a really brief run through because there are only a few things that are impacting the industry more than anything. It's lawsuits, AI, and the interest rates. So you're not missing a whole bunch in a week to week. We haven't really seen anything major come through. Otherwise, you would have seen it on the national news. But the biggest story that you're seeing right now is that interest rates have been dropping, I believe, for 6 weeks consecutively. And that just shows, kind of where the market is at. People are not purchasing at these higher rates. So the market is trying to adjust. Mortgage rates have dropped for the 6th week in a row and are expected to go lower through the end of the year. Home buying, Redfin says 2023 was the least affordable home buying year in at least 11 years. We all know it was pretty bad. There's when you have Redfin kind of say it, and Redfin's a big aggregate of data, if you guys don't know. And what an aggregate of data is basically they collect all of the information for their agents, for their listings. They also are a brokerage. They can sell and, a few other services as well. But they have models that they put out, and Redfin usually makes these announcements. So we take these with a grain of salt, but really the most important thing is that you're paying attention to your personal finances and making sure that you're on the right steps to make the moment that affordability does improve a moment of opportunity for you to kind of hop on and get on this bandwagon of buying real estate and making the most out of your income and your passive income and your money for that matter. Fraud. A New York judge ruled that former President Donald Trump committed fraud for years while building his real estate empire. And that is something that we can definitely dive into one day. I have to look at the specifics of that, but New York is a very different animal when it comes to real estate. I would love to get some insight on anyone that is licensed in New York to know a little bit more about that, that'd be great to see, someone that's a little bit more versed in that area. Love to hear about that if anybody knows anybody. Commercial. Brookfield won extension for 280 million loan tied to Denver office tower. We're seeing a huge move in commercial real estate, guys. So if you're thinking about buying a business, setting up a business, there are some opportunities. We are hearing of places that are being converted. And actually, this ties into another story that I wanted to talk about. That basically talks about how there is pressure on leadership here in Montgomery County to do something about commercial real estate that's being left abandoned. So that's one of the biggest things that I saw earlier today that I thought was worth discussing. Let me see if I can pull it back up, because I thought it was a really worthwhile article, because it kind of shows the point that commercial real estate has really been hurting. A lot of businesses did not recover from the pandemic, and unfortunately that is still being felt. We're having the shakeout of that still happen. Professional estimates of that are actually that we're going to see that probably shake out through 2024, really towards the end of it. Some people are, not to be doom and gloom, but some people are asking for or calling for a recession around 2024. If it happens, if it doesn't happen, it's left to be seen. But regardless, the best thing you can do is control the things that are in your capacity. Going after the things that you want to go after and keep working your money and making your money work for you. Real estate markets. The DC, Arlington, Alexandria region was ranked the 44th top real estate market for 2024. So something to keep in mind. We saw a lot of huge booms in that area from Amazon too, the second headquarters that Amazon created over in that area. And of course, DC is DC. Everyone wants to be in DC. I personally like Montgomery County. I don't know about you guys, but some other real estate news that might be worthwhile to just keep an eye on. Redfin reveals their new AI powered listing photo tool, should be interesting. And how scammers are using AI to commit new fraud in real estate. We're seeing a lot of that with impersonation, falsification of documents, and a lot of very tricky things when it comes to AI. So you got to keep your eyes and ears and double check and verify. And it never hurts to make a call. HUD announces new climate policy on energy and water benchmarking. So that's going to be great for the environment, hopefully. Copycat Commission lawsuit filed in Florida and Pennsylvania, it seems like. And China's big property market problem will take at least 4 to 6 years to resolve. So we're seeing also an impact and kind of a down year when it comes to foreign investment and who's actually investing in the country. The Chinese market has seen a lot of fluctuation in the last couple of years through the pandemic. So definitely keep that an eye on that if you're thinking about investing or thinking about the global markets when it comes to stocks or, in that realm. What else can I tell you guys? Oh, I did want to talk to you guys about the futures. So let me talk to you about that. Future predictions for 2024. And this is on my Instagram. You guys can check this out whenever you have a moment. And let me go back. I was reading it through. Okay. So here you go, guys. The real estate market for 2024. And this is what predictions expect for the upcoming year. Predictions are predictions. No one has a crystal ball, as my manager loves to say. But the key is to remember that you have to keep your situation in check. Predictions are predictions, and they're a great way to kind of think about how things could be. But when it really comes down to week by week, houses come on the market every single day. And I can't promise you there are going to be more homes, but I also can't say there are going to be less homes tomorrow. So the most important thing to keep in mind with this type of information is that it's a broad scope. Sometimes it's not always narrowed in on your particular neighborhood. And that's why you have to be very clear and sincere with your real estate agent that you're working with about what you want and your goals are, because not every property has the potential to sell for the same amount. Properties are all location driven, and they all depend on the situation of how they were purchased and when they were purchased and the money behind them. So you've got to be clear on what you want to do, communicate that to your real estate agent, and make sure you're working with a professional that's in your local area so that you're getting the most accurate information. Because otherwise, you could be leaving money on the table, and no one wants to do that at all. But for this upcoming year, what people are predicting is that we're going to have home inventory will continue to be limited. Fewer homes are on the market today than were a few years ago, and this trend is expected to continue in 2024. It's something I repeat to you guys almost every day. And this today, I got really excited. We saw a lot more listings than I expected. So, that's a plus. But really, in comparison to when I started in the business, even in comparison to last year, the numbers are down. I would say at least a third. And that just causes the prices to stay elevated because there's not enough properties for the people that are out there. And the people that are out there are paying the prices that are being offered for these homes. Some homes are overpriced. You just got to be honest about it. But if a property is well priced and in good condition, it's moving fast. It's just when they're overpriced and not well maintained that you have a property stay a little bit longer than most, especially over 30 days in this market. You got to start thinking about your pricing at that point. From here, what these trends mean for you. If you're planning on buying or selling a home in 2024, it's important you put these trends into perspective and realize that the unique characteristics of your local market may not match these overriding predictions. Again, just prefacing what I said earlier about how what the news media, what X, Y, and Z predictor or economist might say doesn't refer to everybody. You got to talk to your person, and you got to make sure that they're vouching for you, because you'd be amazed what a good real estate agent can do for your situation. They can get you the most money, but you got to listen to them, and you got to be willing to commit to the plan and make sure that it's a plan that's tried and true. Home values will continue to hold steady. We've observed continuing rising prices in most major mid-Atlantic metro areas. Many people are waiting for prices to go down, but because of the inventory shortage and continued demand, prices are holding steady. Again, another point that I always bring up to you guys. I think I beat it to the bush now. It's just mortgage rates will fluctuate, although rates continue to pass the 8% mark on 30-year fixed rates this fall. They've seen a steady decline in the month of November. At some point, the Federal Reserve will pause on raising rates, which is expected to happen the second half of 2024. But that's a double-edged sword. And remember this, guys, if you're waiting for the rates to go down, when rates go down, competition goes up. When competition goes up, prices go up. So keep that in mind. I'm not telling you go get a mortgage now. I'm telling you get the home that you want. Get the home that you try for it. Go for it 120%, because the thing with real estate is that there's a limited quantity and a limited supply at any given time. That home that you might want might not be available again for another 20 years. And that's how you have to realize a lot of these transactions. When a property becomes available, it just so happens to become available because, stars align and people move. Always people are moving, especially in an area like this where there's so much government and so much military and so much innovation with the science sector. AstraZeneca, that was another story that I wanted to talk about briefly. It just signed a new lease in Gaithersburg. So Novavax is here. If you know about Novavax, you know how important they are. And yeah, there's huge development in this area. So investments here are still booming, but you got to think about where we are and how much this can rise before things really start to tank. And remember, we're still looking for a soft landing. So ideally, in a perfect scenario, we're going to hit that soft landing. But to get to that point, it's a little bit of a balancing act between the 8% mark that we just hit that high end. And now we're kind of coasting down. It's been 6 weeks of coasting down. And then we're going to hit that hopefully equilibrium where then the market starts to, kind of come back up. And then we'll see how that kind of goes. you know, so keep an eye on that. As always, talk to your mortgage professionals about latest rates, because they can give you the most information up to date, and they can lock in your rates, something that, you know, I myself can't do, or, you know, any real estate agent can't do. What does this mean for sellers? Your role as a seller becomes pivotal in the new phase. While fewer homes were sold in the third quarter of 2023, remember, those that found new owners commanded higher prices. As you consider entering the market, recognize that your property holds unique value in this landscape, but don't be overzealous. Be very, very careful about overpricing your property. Make sure that you're being keen on market trends, and acknowledge all the work that you've done. Document it. Try to communicate it at the best you can to your agent. Make the best case to everyone that you can about the property, and leave the property in the best state that you can, and you will get top dollar. If the property is overpriced from the start, even if it's completely redone from top to bottom, it will sit on the market. So keep that in mind. I see that sometimes with builders that are new to the game, that they hop in there and they put way too much into the property, and they end up with a property that they tried to sell for way too high. And unfortunately, after months and months and months, it just sits there and on the MLS and rots away. They don't mind, because, you know, they just have their money sitting there. They don't lose until they sell at a loss. But, you know, that's not the point of real estate to me, and that's not the game that I'm in. Real estate to me is very serious. It's I'm here to help people move forward with their lives and the next step in their process. You know, downsizing, upsizing, vacation, you know, moving, relocation, you know, starting the next phase of their lives. So sellers will be super important coming in the year, about how many sellers come on the market at the same time. If we have too many sellers at the same time, prices will tend to go down, just because the buyer will feel like they have more options. But we've seen such a deficit in buying, in inventory right now, that the buyers that we have, the pent up demand, might still be okay for some time. It just really depends on, is this new normal for rates? And is this what we deem as okay and acceptable as a entry level price for a first time home buyer? And I think in the next coming years, we're going to start having more conflicts with that, and more questions of what are our politicians doing to help us get more people into first time home buying situations. I love the way Eric put it. Not everyone is responsible enough to own a home, but we want to give everyone the ability and the keys and the steps to do it, and to know that they can. It's up to you then to do the work and make it through the goalpost and make it happen. So work with me no matter which way the real estate market turns. I'm proud to be affiliated with a financially strong and stable company that takes an integrated approach to real estate. So I can offer you all the services needed to buy, sell, rent, own, and invest in real estate, from mortgage and title to insurance and moving. And speaking to the effect of insurance, title, and moving, I would love to have a couple of other guests in mind to come on and talk to you about the other core services that we have at Long and Foster. So I'm really excited to speak to them. We will have another interview on Monday at 3 o'clock. So expect 2 lives on Monday. And yeah, it should be really interesting. Oh, for Monday's live, if you're a Spanish speaking person that is interested in real estate, the guest speaker will be a mortgage officer that is Latino and Spanish speaking. So, you know, I'm not saying that you should prefer him over another, but if you feel more comfortable asking these questions in your native language, you can feel more inclined to do so. It's not a big deal. But I appreciate you guys, appreciate everyone coming in and checking this out, seeing kind of what the stories are this week to keep an eye on. And yeah, if you have any further questions, think there are any stories that I should pay attention to for next week, or anything that's worrying you that I should worry about in the market, let me know. My name is Hugo Quintanilla with Long and Foster. Let me get you guys some cool stuff to scan there you go. Go ahead and scan the QR code if you guys want to catch my website. It is, ooh, hold on. There we go. It is your realtor Hugo.com. You can just catch me over there. And my socials are Hugo for Long and Foster on Instagram. You can also look up Hugo Quintanilla Realtor. I'm pretty much everywhere, guys. Google me, you'll find me. You'll find my office. Come on by, set up an appointment. We will talk about your situation and we will make it happen. So again, thank you guys for participating in these lives. I will see you guys hopefully again tomorrow. I have something personal, but we will try to make it happen. And yeah, take care. Have a great evening, and I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.